Ooh. Helloing, people of the online community of car review watchers. Welcome to this, the 2023 Mazda MX-5 Miata RF. This, I think, is probably the best combination of the ND2 Miata you can buy. The RF roof with a 6-speed manual. So today, I'm gonna get this thing up in the air. We're gonna nerd out in the tech specs, see how it's constructed, and then take it out and give it the beans. Mazda, feel alive. What happened to zoom zoom? Hey look, it does have a trunk popper back here. It's next to the license plate light. That is an awfully large opportunity for weight savings. I mean, muffler. Easiest car in the world to change reverse light bulbs on. Starting with the rear end, the RF Grand Touring 6-speed has a mechanical LSD with a 2.87 final drive ratio, finned aluminum diff cover, and an all-steel fully boxed rear subframe. Suspension-wise, it has a multi-link independent rear suspension, but take note, all of the links are tubular steel. There's no stamped steel back here. The knuckle is made out of aluminum, and it's paired with a set of yellow body Bilstein monotube dampers. The end link is a mechanical equivalent of a Q-tip. That thing is adorable. The little red dots are kind of gross though. They look like spider eggs. It's so tiny. The rear anti-sway bar measures in at 10 millimeter. I think this is the smallest one I've ever measured on a car before. Yeah, 10 millimeter. Cute little resonator, all stainless steel piping. It measures in approximately 54 millimeter or about 2 1/8 inch. One of the strongest arguments against this configuration being the best of the ND2 Miata is weight. It's one of the heavier ones with the Grand Touring and RF top, weighing in at 2,452 pounds, which is still super light, and it still has a 51-49 weight distribution, almost perfect. Let's be honest though, the RF is by far the better looking car. So unless you're buying this to be a dedicated race car or you have little man race car complex, I think the extra pounds are worth it. Look how much effort that went into weight reduction though. This little X brace made out of aluminum has X-Men logo cut out in the center, as well as some little rifling holes. It's got another aluminum chassis brace right here with some interesting little brackets that go to nothing, maybe the automatic transmission. The whole car is undercoated, but you can see the crystal red is oversprayed on top of it. That kind of bothers me. So if you notice right here, there is a brace connected to the tail half of the transmission that runs all the way down the center of the car and connects back here to the rear differential. This is something they've done on all the generations of the MX-5 Miata to increase rigidity. As I said, this one does have the Skyactiv MT 6-speed manual transmission. It was revised partway through this generation for the ND2, has a maximum torque input of 320 Newton meters, which is like 236 pound-feet. And despite how quick this thing revs, it does have a dual mass flywheel. Looks fairly easy to access and maintain. You can probably drop the transmission in this thing fairly quickly. Just take this brace out of the way. It weighs about 220 pounds. The 6-speed automatic you can get in these is also really good. I can't really bash that transmission. It does a good job. You have a double wishbone front suspension, all of which is made out of aluminum. Again, those yellow body Bilsteins with a coilover spring. Some additional chassis bracing that goes from the unibody to the steel front subframe. Gotta measure anti-sway bar. Ooh, it's a little beefy guy. 24 millimeter. It's actually fairly beefy for such a light car. Nice sturdy aluminum sump guard. That's cute. A little rubber piece on the hairy cardboard front diffuser. There's no one behind me. Ready? Go! There goes all my shit. Not bad. I can see where the Brembos would come in. A little bit handy. Not bad though. That braking was just accomplished thanks to these absolutely adorable little single pot calipers and 280 millimeter or 11 inch rotors. There is an available Brembo Recaro package for this car, and I'd absolutely recommend it, especially for the price when you look at aftermarket big brake kits and seats. Recaros are not cheap. So the wheels are a cast aluminum 17x7 positive 45 millimeter offset wrapped in a set of 205 45 17-inch Bridgestone Potenza S001 tires. Easy to put this thing up on a lift, side skirts don't intrude on the pinch welds. Out back, you have another single pot caliper with an 11-inch or 280mm rotor and square stance wheel and tire. Forelug, it's getting rarer and rarer. This is a 4 on 114.3 to be exact. In the name of science, I am now going to give it the beans. But first, I must conduct a bolstering assessment. Good. Excellent bolstering. And these seats are heated in the Grand Touring, and I have it turned on right now and it feels lovely. I also have a button over here I can defeat traction control. Give this thing a light little launch and let it eat. Ready? I love this. Oh, this thing is fucking great. That's good. That's really good. This thing rips. These are amazing cars. So cute. Is she giant? Is car tiny? That's light. Hood insulation. Why do I feel like you don't see that much anymore? It's so clean and simple. I love it. Underneath the hood of this 2023 ND-2 MX-5 is the Sky Active G all aluminum 2-liter dual overhead cam naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that produces 181 horsepower at 7,000 RPM and 151 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM. That's surprising. For a car that has nearly a perfect 50-50 weight distribution, it still has a battery up front instead of relocated to the back. You can see the engine sits almost entirely behind the front center line of the front axle. There's a 3-piece strut tower brace that ties the strut towers into the firewall just above the valve cover over there. This is such a good looking engine with a silver painted valve cover and gloss black coil caps, little Sky Active cover right there by the plastic intake manifold. Underneath that pretty painted valve cover, the Sky Active G 2-liter has a 83.5 by 91.3 millimeter bored stroke. That's very specific. 13:1 compression ratio, super high. It does have variable valve timing, as well as it is direct inject only, does not have port injection. And the exhaust manifolds on these engines are fairly special the way they're engineered to be able to make this engine make as much power and torque that it does, and also run on the shitty octane gasoline that we have available here in America. Unfortunately, you can't see it underneath the heat shield, but it has a 4-2-1 manifold, which means it goes from 4 runners into 2 runners and then into 1 runner. And despite the Mazda engineers doing an impressive job with these manifolds, there's aftermarket companies that make even more power by further modifying them, because they just don't have to be tuned to run off of shit gasoline. Well, that's weird. The little plastic expansion tank is above the radiator. Huh, interesting. And they also didn't clear coat the bay. That's pretty. It's time to take you out for a nice seafood dinner. I mean, the beans. So satisfying. Man, I feel like fuel cut is like just a hair over redline. Redline's 7,500, but at times I feel like you can go like 76, 7,700. So satisfying. The changes they made for the ND2 versus the ND1 with the rev range going so much higher completely transformed this car. It's cliche to compare it to a Honda S2000, but that it does reminisce the Honda S2000 a little bit when those first came out. It is impossible not to smile driving one of these on a windy road. Just like nothing else. The GR86 BRZ is close, and I like those because there's a lot more room on the interior. This is like at my limits of what is comfy, being almost 6 foot tall. Now I can't tell you if the RF top makes this thing any more rigid when it comes to handling. I'm not on a racetrack and I haven't driven those two cars enough back to back to even notice the difference. I'm sure people that own these can attest for it though. And I just, with the look of the RF versus the soft top, I feel you have to get the RF over the soft top. Now, I won't say that I would choose the Grand Touring over the Club though. I personally, the Club spec is more up my alley. The Brembo Recaro package though, absolute must. I don't think it's worth saving the extra few pounds to get the soft top over this one. Even though I don't have the top down right now because of the fact that it's really hard filming wise, if there's any kind of wind coming in, I don't want to interfere with that for the video for you guys. Last night it was in the 40s and I drove with the top off, and the vents are located on the dash just right in front of your hands. So it keeps your hands nice and warm, and then because the Grand Touring has the heated seats, it was perfect in here. Not a single moment was I the slightest bit cold. I didn't even feel any cold breezes. I feel I'm obligated to show the roof going up and down. So here. Oh, trunk lid is open. You can't do it, the trunk's open. RF, Robot Fold. Ooh, that's fast. Neat. Done, operation complete. That's cute. It shows on the gauge cluster the roof going up and down. I love that this is all gloss black. Also, it has this little partial windshield. This just looks so good. I love the RF. The fact that the little center cubby right here is lockable is also pretty nice, especially for the soft top. In case you're wondering what the inside of the roof looked like in the RF, it's actually got a fabric covering over it, like a cardboard fabric, but it helps with sound deadening. I have no shit 8 tortilla chips bigger than this piece of glass. The little etchings that it has to have take up your entire view. I love the fact that the doors are painted body color in here, and I would absolutely have to ceramic coat those. The infotainment system screen it's there. It's tiny. It gets the job done. I actually haven't listened to music in here really at all. I've just been kind of like vibing with the car itself. Glad it has an old school Rip-It style e-brake, but I find it weird it's on the right side of the transmission tunnel, almost as if that's where it would be better placed for right-hand drive models, and they just left it where it is for left-hand drive. Even the Grand Touring package isn't loaded up with a ton of tech features in here. I mean, I got a bunch of blank spots for switches over here on the left of the steering wheel, where there could be more, but there isn't. And that's okay, because in a car like this, you just focus on driving. My biggest complaint with the car, though, is the placement of the controls for the infotainment system. I keep pressing the knob with my arm every time I go to put the e-brake down, or even sometimes changing gears, and it changes the screen, brings up navigation on there, or brings up the main menu. Fuel economy wise, you can absolutely rag on this thing and it still gets phenomenal fuel economy. The perfect daily driver car if you just love life and enjoy driving cars. Would I choose this over a GR86 or a BRZ? That's tough, because both cars are phenomenal, but they both serve different purposes. This, if you want the topless experience, that's why you choose it. To keep things fresh and entertaining, I have decided to change things up a bit with my automotive rating system. It is now going to be on a 1 to 10 scale to further differentiate vehicles, and I am bringing the squid category to all on-road reviews. I am not going to tell you what each category means though in every review. That is up to you, the commenters, to help other people out. So, first up, frozen bean score. This MX-5 is getting a rating of. Next, cookie score. This, sitting in the mid $30,000 range as equipped, is getting a rating of. Mechanic score. This fairly simple little car gets a rating of. And now the special squid score, which covers a vehicle's handling abilities. This is getting a rating of. Lastly, the penguin score. You deserve a rating of. Closing remarks, I don't know what Mazda is going to do for the next generation. All I can say is if they add electrification and the weight of electric motors and batteries, it may ruin this car as we know it. That's just my input. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye!